This is an unscripted video of me going over some albums. So I'm gonna say a lot of ums and uhs. So be warned, or else you're gonna like die or something. Okay, let's get started. Today we are going over 10 of some of the best and 10 some of the worst albums that have come out in the past 6 months. So the first half of 2020. This isn't a top 10 or top 10. It's not a top 10 list. Just a 10 of some of the best and 10 of some of the bottom. So no order. No order. First off, we have Green Day, Father of All. Has everyone talked about this thing? Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It's like sort of this synthetic mishmash, weird new phase of influences that more or less makes them faceless themselves, to be honest with you. Since it's such an odd mishmash of sounds, very hammy a lot of the times, brushes of the electronics and weird auto-tune aren't very pleasant to the ears, to say the least. Yeah, don't check this out if you haven't already, but like you've probably heard things about it already. Let's go to the positive. So yeah, we're gonna be swapping between negative and positive. So let's go to positive. Laura Marling, Song for Our Daughter. This isn't a groundbreaking album by any means, but it saves itself in its like sort of singer-songwriter, folky, a bit colorful instrumentation. Songwriting is off the chains of the stories and the personal stories all told all over this thing. It's quite colorful too. Pianos, there's a bit of a mix of influence and ideas. Some tracks can feel more Huckleberry Finn than others. It's that kind of album. It's a singer-songwriter forward, very passionate, and it's a pretty great. You know, even though it doesn't break a whole lot of ground, but you know, sometimes that's all that's really necessary. Okay, so next one, number 3. Okay, Justin Bieber, Changes. Wow, okay. Do I need to say anything about this? I know it's Justin Bieber. I don't automatically hate a Justin Bieber song when I hear it, okay? If anything, you know, a lot of his like work, it's kind of, it's not like as bad as I've given the score to Changes here. But the reason for this scoring, my low scoring, is it's kind of, it does a 180 on you, basically. It's, the title's a lie. It doesn't really show much change other than being like a chiller vibe, but it's still very radio ready, and like for that reason of like no artistic merit, that's why it's got the low rating. Do I have to explain what it's about? It's just radio ready. That's it. That's really it. It's, you know, auto-tune, brushed, whatever. Yeah, I could go in more depth, but like read my review or something. Next we have Moor, Mother, and Mental Jewelry. This is a collaboration called Moor Jewelry. It's called True Opera, and it's great. It's like a 30-minute or so noise rock, post-punk, no wave. And it's really, really messy and deprived in the head. Like, you're going through so many passages. It's like a minefield of messy guitar scratches sort of clinging through, coming out of nowhere, sort of random. It's noisy, so it becomes this mushmash of the bass and the drum too. The vocals are very authoritative. Everything sounds really compressed and airtight, like there's no room for breathing. So that way they can get inside your head. Yeah, and that's basically this record. Get inside your head. Some poetry. It's very short snippets of lining, and yeah, those raw vocals and that messy, super messy sound. It's a sweet short listen. Next one, number 3 on the worst. Sam Hunt, Southside. So it's sort of a weird country pop little cluster kind of thing. I mean, I guess there are okay production moments, you know, but most of it's just glittery pop. It's very cliched from what it sounds like. Very hammy. A bad track is like, you know, Body Like a Back Road. Yeah, it has a cliche little like snap-on beat. It's very, very annoying. I don't know how someone's body can be like a back road. That's like the worst one. Yeah, it's not that. It's not very pleasant to the ears. Black Dresses. Peaceful as heck. So this is a Black Dresses album. The production is weird. So most of the time you'll have these very girl next door lead vocals and, some nice trippy synths. But a lot of the times there's some crushing noise pop moments. Everything is like such a sound little cluster of mushiness, and it gets really wild. It's like punching you to death almost, because of the very loud, angsty moments. But that's still like very carried out in like a sweet way. So it's like it's still hurting you, and that's what I have to say about that. Next we have Danzig. Danzig sings Elvis. I'm pretty sure it's an LP. It's a cover LP. And what I don't like about this thing is that even though Danzig, he can sing Elvis. He can sing Elvis greatly. The actual sonics or instrumentation of this album kind of sucks. The guitar sounds like a fly buzzing right by your ear. Sometimes it's kind of quiet and messy. Nothing sticks with you, basically. It's very hollow. That's what it is. Yeah. And pianos are very, very boring. Next we have... So this is the 8th one? Okay, Mac Miller. Circles. Wow. I can't believe it's here. It's on this list. This is the final Mac Miller LP, and it's kind of a satisfying thing for any fan to ask for. This is Miller's closest record to a singer-songwriter, neo-soul sort of vibe. There's way less rapping on here. There's like maybe one actual true blue, traditionally rapped song on here. A lot of instrumentation is subtle. There's bits of plucky string and guitar and piano that's, very set back, but there's also lots of synthetic work too that gives it that neo soul sort of flavor on top. Some are more neo soul than others, obviously. Some are more synthetic than others. It can range. Miller's vocals really sort of swoon as he delivers his sad lyricism that are totally different in the context of his death. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Next we have Nav, Good Intentions. I talked about it on a review, so go watch that. It was just a Nav album. Nav repeats on themes. Sounds like he doesn't care about anything. Instrumentals are fine. I talked about it in the review, go check that out. Next one, Rina Sawayama. Rina Sawayama. Rina Sawayama. So this is sort of a pop weird form of nu metal and R&B glitter sort of thing. It's a pop record at heart, but it's the production and everything about it is experimental. There's so many weird ideas sprinkled throughout without losing any pop edge. There's so catchy hooks all over this thing. So many ideas pop out on each track, and it's almost like each actual track actually follows a different and mixed with different genres. Like the first song kind of sounds like a emo rock grand intro or something with swooping violins, or a lot of tracks delve into her personal life, her ideologies, and her questioning herself, which have great sentiments, and it's quite just a fresh sort of experience for a pop album. Let's go to the next one. Number 11. Okay, Joyner Lucas, ADHD. So it's kind of a mess of ideas. I will say that the skit tracks are very funny because they're very bad. They're very poorly acted. Everything about it is kind of bland, but the worst offender here is the whole concept of this sort of ADHD reflecting that's so carried out in a very poorly way, where you can't really understand what the themes are trying to be, and everything is just kind of bland. It's just trying to appeal to a mass everything, even though it's trying to reflect on ADHD themes, but it can't even do that. It's so broken in its message. It's laughable. I'll say that. Okay, next up. The Strokes. The New Abnormal. This is a Strokes album that really lives up to its name with its sort of new abnormal combination of typical Strokes indie rock, but it's got synthetic isms in it. Now, I know there was a Green Day record that I mentioned earlier that did that, but this doesn't feel very hammy and is actually more experimental. It's like a 5-minute track after 5-minute track. Kind of mismatches 80s vibes with some weird, wild synth leads mixed in with very creative passages, and it isn't annoying as that Green Day father of all album. I'm digging it. Okay, next we have PARTYMOBILE, PARTYNEXTDOOR. It's boring. It's so boring it's not even worth reviewing. It's gotta dance, whatever. It's rinsed and repeated. Sorry, Karen. Yeah. No. Okay. I don't even know what we're on. This is the 7th good one. So number 14? Is that right? Might be number 14. Okay, alright. Deerhoof. Future Teenage Cave Artist. This is a... How do I describe this? A sort of controlled apocalyptic rock alternative album. When I say it goes nuts in terms of its weird passages of noisy alternative bits, weird guitar tones. It's mostly like a calm, controlled chaos. That's what it is. And it's super weird to the ears. And one of the best tracks, Reduced Guilt, that one is weirdly structured and goes into chaos, and the ending had bits of guitar come out of nowhere like a jump scare. It's a lot of details. That's what makes it so great. Okay, next one. Okay, we have Aporia by Sufjan Stevens and Lowell Brams. Sufjan Stevens is kind of legendary. He made that one album that I'll show on screen because I immediately forgot the name of it. I'm not really a big fan of it. It's not really for me, to be honest. It's sort of an ambient mishmash, but it doesn't sound really groundbreaking to my ears at all. Everything seems to kind of go nowhere or evolve into anything. Like it kind of just stays with one idea and kind of runs on it forever. But that's kind of the worst, and it's boring. Basically, it's not for me. And it's not that I hate all ambient music. There was one that could have made it on this list. But there are still good ambient albums, but this one isn't as creative or does anything crazy to pique my interest at all. Okay, next one. So 16. After this, we'll have 2 more. Okay, Perfume Genius. Set my heart on fire immediately. It's definitely a kind of creative, a little bit of chameleon album. It still has that nice blend of art pop and sweet guitar tones. Not a whole lot of guitar, just a bit sometimes. They have a sweet edge to them that gives it that pop appeal, but it doesn't shy away from delving into ideas, into that art side of the art pop, the synthetic mush of fascinating and swooning melodies. Everything is arranged into the sort of detailed, odd, mind palace creative way. Okay, yeah, next one. We have Drake Dark Lane demo tapes. I thought it really varied in quality. A lot of tracks felt underproduced, like 2C Slide. That was really underproduced and devoid of substance, to be honest with you. So you have a track like D4L with some tight features that really bounce off each other with tons of swagger. But then you have like a track where Pharrell shows up and he adds nothing. He's just like background noise. So it kind of varies in quality, and it's not really directional and kind of a mishmash that doesn't really resonate with anything. Okay, next we have Run the Jewels by RTJ4. I talked about this in the review, but if you want a summary of that, so this is a hardcore, bit of experimental, bit political hip-hop album. It's got very intense rapping that really, hits you hard. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Go watch my review or something. Next. Dance Gavin Dance, Afterburner. So this album shtick, it's math, technical rock leads, and they sound really, really interdict, like too hard to try and be crazy. And you know what I mean when you hear it. It's not that it's like crazily loud, but it's so technical. It's what it's trying to be, and it gets kind of annoying. Not only that, with its odd use of genre crossing, there's a rap verse at the end of the album. Yeah, it goes into hi-hat territory. It's got a lot of oddities with those technical leads, and the vocals kind of sound like a bad Linkin Park. The songwriting's forgettable. So many oddities. They come across as repulsive. I wrote down in my review that it had the aesthetic appeal of a "Don't Do Drugs for School" song. So, next thing we have is Quelle Chris and Chris Keys, Instant Country 2. Smooth hip-hop record with some abstract and jazz-isms. Instruments, or the color palette laced on this record, is jazzy pianos, swooning, hazy beats, kind of long. It's a bit ambitious, so not everything is fire from front to back, but a lot of tracks, they have nice grooves. There's even some kind of flute or woodwind on graphic bleed outs. The whole record kind of starts like a TV show, by the way, so it's long-winded, but it's got a smooth attitude. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Was that it? I gotta make sure. Yeah, that was it. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed, or if you just skip to the end, that works too. I will probably not be uploading for a while because this video took too long. But in terms of other projects I have in mind, a Don't Go Outside Part 2 might be fun. More reviews, but not for a while. About the music stuff, I'm not sure where I'm going with that, because I'm focusing more on reviews now. But anyway, I'm rambling too long. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.